what to expect for the rest of September, because we know the September visa bulletin was out, and the dates have been given, but we also got access to another document, which was given to District Judge Thomas and was given by Andrew Parker, basically an employee of the Department of State, explaining the visa numbers that continue to be available for the month of September. We know that in the month of October, the new fiscal year starts. So we're talking about the end of the fiscal year, and the end of the fiscal year ends on the last day of September. Just to give a short background, there are only a certain number of visa numbers allotted, employment-based as well as family-based visa numbers allotted every year. And out of that, each country gets 7% of the available visa numbers. So the overall limits, they have their overall limits. So that's 140,000 is the overall limit, plus the number of unused visa numbers. So there's been a limit for 2022. We've had double the amount of visas that are normally available. So the number that was not used by the family visa numbers came to the employment-based numbers, as a result of which, our annual limit moved from 140,000 to 281,000. So we had double the amount of visa numbers available for the month, for the year 2022. Now, out of these 281,507 numbers, 7% are allotted to each country. So we're concerned about Indian nationals because, that's mostly who's watching the show. So Indian nationals receive 7.1% of the overall numbers. And these numbers are split, remember, based on the 5 employment-based categories. And each employment-based category gets about 28.6%. Out of all that 280,000, 28% goes to EB1, 28% EB2, EB3, and so on and so forth. And out of that, 7% will go to Indian nationals. So as I just said, of course, there is, even though there is a country quota, so every country cannot get more than 7%. What happens is, if the family-based cases are not used up, and if there is excess numbers available in either of the employment-based cases or in the family-based cases, they'll go to the next case. So, for example, if in EB1 all the visa numbers are not allotted or not used, and the visas exceed the demand, then those numbers fall over into the EB2 category, and then so on and so forth. Then the EB2 category excess numbers fall into EB3, EB4, and EB5. That's what usually happens. And also, not only that, there is a fall down that happens between employment-based cases, but also between unused family-based cases and employment-based cases. So even though India will only get 7.1% of the total, if there is a fall down or a fall up, as has been happening since COVID has started, Indian nationals have actually been getting much more than 7% as a result of that. It's helped to a certain extent, but it's still, it's obviously not still ideal. We still have thousands of people literally waiting for years and years, Indian nationals waiting for years and years to get a green card. So just to give you an idea of the numbers this year, the Indian nationals used over 50% of the EB1 visas, the excess visas, that is, after all other countries have used it. And 47% of the extra visas in EB2 went to Indians, and out of the EB3 excess visas, 27% have been used by Indian nationals. So you can see that even though the availability is 7%, much more get used by Indian nationals because of the excess amount, because no other nationals are using it, and it's pretty much, for all of the nationals, it's the visa categories are current except for China. So this is a kind of an oversimplified explanation of, how the visa numbers work and, what happens every year. So that's about the visa numbers. But with reference to, establishing a final action date, the way the dates are decided is, say there are 3,000 numbers available for China. Remember, they get 7% of the total. Then USCIS and DOS say has a demand for about 8,000 numbers, meaning that 8,000 applications have been filed and only 3,000 visa numbers are available. Then what will happen is the Department of State will establish a cutoff date so that only 3,000 people can get the visa numbers that year, and so the 3,001st applicant will be cut off. So that's an explanation of how the cutoff date is established and what the final action date means in a visa bulletin. So if your final action date is current, so that means if your label cert has been filed on the date that is the final action date on the visa bulletin, then you can go ahead and file your 485, otherwise you cannot. So that's a little bit about, the cutoff dates, the final action dates, etc. Now coming to the dates that were actually used, this is very interesting. Based on what USCIS is saying for the year 2022, they have estimated that Indian nationals received about 12,700 visa numbers in total. And so far, 12,460 have been used. So there's still only 240 visas remaining, and they have about 24,700 cases remaining for this fiscal year as of September 6th. So you can see that those 24,000 unlucky people, only out of the 24,700 people, only 240 people are going to get it by the end of September. So this the 240 estimated remaining numbers was as of August 31st. So as of September 6th or September 7th, which is today, maybe those 240 have already been used up. So you can see there are about 24,000 people still remaining in the queue with the same priority dates, but have not been lucky enough because USCIS was, even though USCIS this year tried to adjudicate the maximum number of cases, there's still more petitions filed than there are visas available. So the 24,000 are the ones that got left out, this year. So what to expect for the rest of September? So I don't think, more visa numbers will be allotted. Let's wait and see until the end of September. There's always hope, but it looks like based on this document that was submitted to the district court, most of the visa numbers have been used up for the month of September. So India got, for the entire year, they got about 60,000, and the visas used up by 57,000. This is, for example, the projected annual limit for EB to India. This is the inventories. Inventory remaining, as we discussed, was 2,786 only, and then they used up most of those. So there are only 240 remaining. So what to expect? While USCIS and DOS have used up all the EB2 visas for year 2020, most probably they'll most probably use all the available visa numbers, and there won't be many left. So the document continues to say the same thing. So we don't know if a new September visa bulletin will be released. Most probably not. But to get an estimate of what might happen moving forward, well, we don't have to estimate that anymore. While I was preparing my presentation, I had an estimate, but just an hour ago, the new October visa bulletin has come out, and we were expecting that it will retrogress, but I wasn't expecting it to retrogress so much. So basically, EB2 for final action date has retrogressed by 2 years and 8 months. So they're working on 2012 April, I believe. EB3, the good news, slightly good news, has moved forward by 2 months. Same thing with dates for filing. For all those who don't know, dates for filing don't actually give you a green card, but they allow you to file the 485 because USCIS hopes that your dates will soon become current. So they're allowing you to file in advance. So EB for the dates for filing, also EB2 has retrogressed by about 2 years and 7 months, just a difference of 1 month. And EB3 also has moved forward slightly. So all in all, forward movement by 2 months for EB3. And so this is again reversing the roles. It's like a seesaw. I don't know when it'll ever end. So now everybody who just in 2022, all those who downgraded, then upgraded last year and the beginning of this year, and now they'll have to be downgrading again. So it's just a ridiculous situation that we're in because they're now saying that EB3, we've already seen some forward movement, and we don't know what to expect for the future, but most probably EB3 will move forward and EB2 will retrogress. So it's a seesaw, and this is what has been happening with the priority dates.